What to do when a client doesn't pay or is late. This doesn't happen a whole lot, but it is good to have procedures in place for when it does happen. It's happened to us a couple times, and we've been paid on every job except for maybe, I think, $200, so not too bad in 13 years. So what I like to do is I won't mention anything about payment until the due date is passed. So if it was due, August 1st, and I won't say anything until it's August 2nd. So typically when August 2nd hits, I send them a friendly email reminder. Hey, Mr. Smith, just noticed I haven't received the check yet. I don't know, I haven't, maybe it's late in the mail. Just curious about the payment. Something like that. And we'll include a couple sample emails for you as well to take a look at. If they respond back, most people are just busy and didn't have time to do it or forgot about it. And probably 90% of the time they'll put a check in the mail very shortly because people don't like to not pay people. And also see if they are happy with the job. If you say, hey, if there's anything you didn't like about the job, let me know. And especially they'll be really upset that they didn't pay you, because if they say, oh, we're happy, they're I need to make sure I pay this guy. So that's like the number one process, is do that and kind of see what they say. If you don't hear anything back from that first email, wait a few days, maybe a week, and send another one. If they haven't responded to any of your emails, I would say give them a call, or you can even send them a text. But I would prefer a call. It's a little more personal, and even leave them a voicemail if they don't pick up. Typically, they'll respond back to a call. If they still don't respond back to a call, then it gets a little trickier, and sometimes they'll ignore you, and it depends. If you're working with a feeder, you might be a little more delicate with this, because typically they're waiting for a payment from another part of the job so they can pay you. So you want to be a little more lenient to your feeders, and I would highly suggest that. But if it's someone and they're not responding back to you and you want the money and they haven't said anything, what I like to say is, in an email first, and then you can try snail mail. If they don't respond to that, say, hey, it's company policy that if an invoice is 30 days past due, we go into our collection process. And that way you're saying it's a company policy, so it's nothing against them. And when it's 30 days past due, that's your policy. So if the invoice was due August 1st, you'd wait till September 1st to process it. Granted, you're out of that money for that point in time, but it gives them some time to make a payment. 9 times out of 10, they'll respond back to that because they don't want to go to small claims court or do any of that nonsense. It's more of just a threat saying, hey, we have a process in place. Because a lot of times contractors won't go after the money, and you do have ways to get your money if they didn't pay you. If they don't respond to that, you can say maybe in a week later, our procedures are in place. Our typical procedures, we go to small claims court. If you say that, they will get back to you. You don't need to call them for this, because it's kind of weird to be on the phone unless you want to be a collector. You can, so if you can do this, but if they're not responding to email, I would send regular mail, and that definitely gets their attention. Make sure you sign it. And I've never had to use this one, but if it's a big job and they're completely ignoring you and you're past the 30 days and you will need something with a little more punch to it. There's something called a mechanics lien. This is very tricky that not a lot of contractors know. It's basically in the instance where if a contractor does work, just say a house gets built, they do work for a builder, and the roofer doesn't get paid. That roofer can file a mechanics lien on that house, so that house does not have a clean title. So when someone goes to buy this newly built house, they do a title search, and they're like, hey, there's a $8,000 mechanics lien for this roofer that hasn't been paid. So whoever buys that house would have to pay off that lien. So if you file a mechanics lien on someone's personal residence, they cannot sell their house, which is pretty nasty thing to do. But if someone owes you $10,000 and they're happy with the job and they're trying to screw you out of the money, that's kind of your last resort thing to do if you don't go the small claims court way, and people will always respond to that. 99.9% of the time, it does not need to come to that. We've never had to even threaten that. We've only threatened small claims court, and it's always gotten paid because of that. If you do want to file mechanics lien or small claims court, I would definitely recommend finding a lawyer or finding a lawyer friend. It's typically not too expensive to go to small claims court. I have never had to go, and thankfully haven't, and we've been paid. But honestly, you put that kind of those possibilities out there that you might take them to court, you might put a mechanics lien, they can't sell their house. You know, you'll get a reaction and you'll get paid.